All right, guys, welcome back to Ministry Corner. We are episode 3 with Mike Powell as we talk about riding motorcycles for Christ. And we're going to get right into testimony, not just what it's like or what it could be like, but what it's been like. And I always want to I want to end on the high note. So I want to ask you, has there been a big failure, I stepped in it moment as it like, oh man, this was just a foolish display of my maturity, whatever it was? Did your expectations not get met one time and you just kind of feel like this is a really funny story to share?
Yeah, we've had a few. One of them, I won't go to the big specifics of it. We had one plan a huge event, been planning it for a long time.
So you guys planned it.
We planned it, everything, coordinated location, food, the fundraiser items, raffle items, the whole ordeal flopped upside down. It was a huge bust. And like looking back at it now, it's kind of funny. Like we were expecting like a large amount of people to show up and it was like a very small amount. So
somebody forgot to send out the invite.
Yeah, something. I don't know what happened, but we had a good time with the people that were there. And then it turned into, instead of like selling food, we ended up just serving to-go plates and just started serving people food out there. So we turned that into like a different ordeal. I think the one time going to a ministry event, and this was when I was a prospect.
Okay.
So I'm riding with a patched brother because I can't go to events by yourself as a prospect. And I was like, man, this guy rides good. We're going to ride side by side, just like we're two fighter jets on the highway. We're doing real good.
This is that story. Okay.
Yeah. And then we get into the back roads, riding side by side with my brother. It was so fun until we came around a corner, and then I was no longer on my motorcycle. I was flying for a short period of time, long enough to think about it, like long enough to be like, okay, God, this is going to hurt, isn't it? Like it's like the conversation I had with Jesus before I hit the ground was personal. It was, I felt like I flew for 10 seconds and then I hit the ground, but I got pretty banged up from that. I shattered my wrist and whatnot, but that was one of those moments when like I was humbled by the fact of we are doing ministry work. Stop trying to show off.
Yeah.
Like nothing about what we do should ever be in a showboating manner because it's not worth it in the long run. Spending 8 months in a cast and
kind of took you out of the ministry field for a minute, right?
It did. I got to take a good break. I sat down, got fully recharged, and then jumped right back into it. So it was good.
Okay. So good personal humbling moment. I like it. I like it. All right. So those are the mess ups. Those are the things that, obviously you had no control over the first one. That's just the way it goes sometimes. I was always the unpopular kid that never had somebody come to my birthday party, so I can relate. So, but we want to finish on the high note. So I want to give you an opportunity to kind of share a success story or a specific victory. Obviously, you can leave all names out that you need to, but something where you did everything you could, or even you did less than you could, but God really showed up and moved in that circumstance, and it really kind of fed your desire to continue ministering in this way.
Yeah, there's so many that are out there. We've had so many phenomenal God moments where it's been like big moments where you just don't forget them. I've enjoyed the smaller scale moments, not so much where everybody's been there. The best thing that I have seen, and I'll leave his name out of it, but one of the guys that we've ministered to and been around, shot me a text and said, "Hey man, I got to get in the water." And I immediately knew. I was like, "You want to get baptized?" I was like, "Brother, my church baptizes whenever you are ready to go. So you say the word and I'll make it happen." He's like, "I got to do it now, or I'm going to," he's like, "I've been chickening out this whole time. I've just been avoiding it." I was like, "All right, bet we're not going to avoid it today." And so it happened. And he asked me to be a part of it. And like, there was so much excitement. Like even now, just like I feel the tears of joy just in my soul, because witnessing him just take that next step of obedience into Christ in front of his son, that he's trying to show that he is becoming a better man. It was so powerful. Like I could just feel the Holy Spirit just wrapping him even more, because he is choosing to step away from the junk that's in the area that he's in, right? Because he rides bikes too. He's choosing to be different. And I'm like, just you choosing to be different, and you choosing to be different by letting Christ lead you, that's amazing. And it's just because we go around and hang around him. We bring joy to places without the alcohol. And there's another one, and this is like one of my favorite ones. We always check the weather, right? If it's raining, you got your rain gear, right? We had an event for one of our some of our brothers. They bought an abandoned church, or bought an abandoned bank and turned it into a church in the middle of this downtown square. So they're surrounded by everybody. And so we're like, we're going to go to your guys' first service. And so everybody mounted up. It was supposed to rain later that day. 15 minutes into the ride is raining. Like, so now we're soaking wet. It's cold. It was in February too. So it's wet and cold. We stop and finally put our rain gear on. We get there trying to dry our stuff out. And we see there's a big storm on the way back. Like, it was one of those ones where you're like, maybe we should hang out a couple hours and not risk it to go through this, because it's high winds, rain and whatnot. And it could have turned into ice, and those combined together is not good. One of the ladies there, her and her husband, she started this way back in the day. She's like, every prayer request I get, I write in my journal, and I always leave space to go back to it, whether it's a month, a day, 5 years, however long it is. I always go back to it and I write in how it was answered. And so she was talking about that and some of the stuff that had been going on. It was a beautiful thing. I was like, man, that's awesome. I should write down all that stuff, but I don't. I'm really bad at writing down prayer requests. I keep it in my head. But anyway, so she prayed over us. We're like, man, this storm is gonna. I was like, all right, just keep the rubber down. All right, that's all we got to do. Just keep the wheels down on the ground. Brother, when we left, I put everything I had on, all my rain gear, all my snow gear, everything that was in my saddlebags, I put on. Everybody was like kitted up. Like, one of my brothers, he bought the wrong size rain gear, so he had to tape it down because it was too big, so it wouldn't melt on his exhaust pipes. We get 15 minutes down the road, the sky goes from dark and just opens up. And like, it's like a beautiful sunny day. So the whole ride back, I'm just like, oh man, like immediate prayer answered, you know? And that was just like one of those things, like, I was still pretty young into the ministry at this time in that February. And I was like, man, I'm riding with really seasoned guys. I don't want to be riding wet and cold this whole time. Like, I was like, God, please, like, if you could just answer this one prayer that she sent up today, like, even if it's just for me and I'm being selfish. But no, you see stuff like that all the time. And it's not like we expect it, because there are days when we ride when it's cold. But, you know, I think I could spend a week telling you all the phenomenal success stories we've seen, from the small to the big.
So the one you shared before that, with the baptism, culminating in the baptism, or, you know, really just starting in the baptism, right? Was that a pretty recent one?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he end up coming in out of service, like, or did he just come to?
It was third service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we did it right after third service.
Perfect.
And you know, he's getting more involved. He's making those changes in his life. Like, he knew that Christ was really calling him out of just the chaos he was in. You know, and I'll tell you this, like, because I didn't say his name, and because I did it too. Every time I've baptized one of my kids, I've cried. Like, it's a tearful moment. Ask my wife, I cry a lot. I get emotional for exciting things, but, you know, we hugged and we were praying, and he's like, oh man, he tried to apologize for crying. I was like, no, man. I was like, this is not a crying time that you got to apologize for. You're crying because the Holy Spirit is overwhelming you with just change. That's faith being filled through your body. Like, you have the faith in Christ to change you. You're feeling it right now. I was like, just continue letting that grow inside of you.
Freedom.
And that's what it is. And I think final thing I would say is, in this ministry, I've been able to show people, offer people the way to it. And it's the number one thing that I've gotten from Christ, and that's peace. Like, as a vet, as a dad, you know, seeing the stuff that we've done, been through where we've been through, the peace that I have, if I can just give little nuggets of that peace to everybody I meet, it'll do wonders in their life. And so that's what we get to do.
All right. So I think 2 questions just kind of surfaced for me. So one, when that guy or gal converts and they give their life to Christ, but they were part of the motorcycle clubs you were ministering to.
Yep.
What is the likelihood they safely join your motorcycle club and start ministering to those same clubs?
So it happens, right?
Okay.
There's conditions though, as long as they're out good, right? Okay. So there's 2 ways you can get out bad or out good. Out bad means, hey, nobody talks to this guy anymore, right?
Okay. He's PNG.
He's been exiled. Specifically from them. Obviously, that guy can go do different things in his life. He's just no longer in that community, no longer allowed to be a part of it, right? But we tell people, hey, if you leave these places and you're out good, there's a time period you have to wait. We will talk to them and let them know, like, hey, this is what this person's trying to pursue, out of respect for them, so they're not blindsided. And then, we start training them up, and either they stay with us or we release them off to wherever they go to next. And, they carry on the Great Commission on 2 wheels.
Right on. And so my other question was, because you encounter some things, you see some things that, like for instance, when somebody starts serving at church because they just gave their life to Christ, they're surrounded by a generally safe group of people and safe culture, right? And I don't mean like physically dangerous. I mean spiritually safe, right? Hopefully. In this circumstance, is there anything in you that says, you know what, a new Christian, this is probably not the place for them, or somebody who's lacking some discipline and conviction in their life yet? Is there any warning you would give to somebody who is considering contacting you guys and getting involved in a Christian bike ministry, but would be to their detriment at a certain stage in their life?
Yeah. If being a new Christian, you get real hungry, and sometimes you try to eat more than you can consume, right? Okay. You start eating the meat before you drink the milk. So you definitely have to slow down. There are people that I tell them, like, if you lack maturity or you lack spiritual maturity, I can't bring you into a place that the enemy is so invested in that it could cause physical harm to you, right? Or physical harm to somebody else here.
Sure.
So that's why we take so long to get to know people. If it's something that is, if you suffer from mental health issues that you haven't been able to conquer, it's going to be hard to put you in a place where you're around violence and alcohol and drugs, especially if you had an issue with those before. Because I want to see you serve and be successful, but I don't want to be taking you to a place that's going to cause you to stumble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because first things first, like family first, right? I take care of the ministry first. Like our brothers and sisters, we take care of each other. We make sure we're feeding from our overflow. Our state elder, I love him so much. And one of my other brothers, they're the first 2 to be like, hey, Mike, you've done a lot of events this month. Why don't you sit back on the next one? Let somebody else go to these next couple events. And we take care of each other spiritually, because we know if we are trying to feed from an exhausted place, that that's when mishaps can occur
all the time,
or the enemy can exhaust you to the point where you don't think you can do this anymore. And I get so energized on the bike. I'm telling you, it's an exciting feeling. It is taxing though. It does take a lot out of you at the end of the day. So
I can imagine an all-day event with 2 hours of riding on either side is a exhausting day on the back, if nothing else.
Yeah. You need a good seat. All right. Yeah. Good seats make for easier long rides.
Excellent. So, Mike, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. And I know you guys don't recruit. This is not a pitch for that by any means, but I want to tell you that I know men and women in this ministry, and I think it's a beautiful ministry. I think it's a great model of being Christ-like, meeting people where they are, and bringing the gospel with no compromise. And if you're interested, these are a good group of folks. And if you want somebody to pray for, these are a good group of folks to pray for, and not to mention the ones they're going to serve. So thank you again. Quick shout out to our friend David Fowler, who wanted to be here but just couldn't make it today. We love you, brother, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.